There we go. We are live. Live with some news that's all over social media right now. Wow. Well, seeing this one coming. I didn't see this one coming, but there's a particular
I saw
individual,
it.
man.
I saw it coming, but I didn't know that they were gonna drag Big U actually into it. Not surprised
Yeah.
though. We'll get into that as more people come in. But we got to remember this is staying up. We're not playing music, so we got to
Yeah.
fill the void and can't leave too much airspace.
Yeah. It's definitely a situation. It's definitely a situation where hey, the feds can come knocking at your door any time. You never know when it's gonna happen. Who would have ever thunk it, When you're
Yeah.
when you're on social media all the time talking about existing cases and things, this is the type of shit that happens. Everybody's watching,
Mm-hmm.
How does the RICO work? Everyone get the same amount of time? No,
No,
no.
they can all get broke off something severe though. So hey, thank you, Zubs. So might as well just get into it, and as people come in, we'll we'll address the questions. So this morning, the Rolling 60s got hit with a RICO indictment, and so far it's saying, I don't know since it aired, but they were saying that Big U was still out and about. He was a fugitive, and they had 4 people in custody. When you have people like loose cannon and especially 600 putting cases on Big U, saying that he identifying him basically as a leader of a street gang.
Yeah.
The Rolling Sixes are not an organized crime faction. They're a street gang. It's disorganized crime. And you have guys who go on camera, go on No Jumper, and constantly identify someone as the head of something. It's pretty fucked up. You can't, and these guys are saying that they're from that neighborhood and they're identifying someone else that they have a beef with. Hopefully, some of these other neighborhoods are going to take heed. Gunner and I we've been saying, with these dudes going on No Jumper, what's going to happen? I've been saying that I believe No Jumper, there's something. Look, at people have gone on No Jumper and then wind up dead. People have gone on No Jumper and they wind up in prison. You had Crip Mac decide that he wanted to be the face of the Crips. Look at him now. You had 4 Extras. He became the new face of the Crips. Look at where he's at. You had Rick Baby on there every day. On Hood, on Rollin, on Hood,
dead on me.
Rollin, and look at him now. He's in custody.
Yes,
he's the ones in custody.
Here's another crazy part of this story. The very first person to report that this raid was actually happening and happened to be in the front filming of Big U's home while the investigation was being conducted. They were literally kicking his door down. Happened to be 600.
And he's the
Isn't
one.
That a coincidence, right?
600 just put out a video the other day placing blame on Big U for a murder. Said that the victim had Big U's DNA under his fingernails. Now, however he got that information, as somebody, if somebody, like, I'll give you an example. Somebody like Hector Bravo comes from a different background. And if he tells that story, that's in line with his background. If somebody claims to be a gang member and then they're putting cases and bodies on somebody like that's not part of your background, homie. You're assisting law enforcement when you do that.
Yes.
Whatever is out there is out there. You know what I mean?
It's just, to me, Dubs, this is the crazy part. For someone who always has Big U's name in his mouth, always trying to put cases on him, even trying to put the Nipsey Hussle case on him. And there's always, wherever Big U's at, he's several hundred miles away, right? He's never close. But the day Big U's house is getting raided, he's right at his doorstep, right in the front filming.
Yes.
He's the first person to break the news. Now, if that isn't direct involvement in having knowing what's going on, I don't know what is. That's the truth.
Yes.
You know, that right there, that's a very, very big coincidence right there. You know, and to be sitting in front of the house wearing a badge and a fake security hat, like rubbing it in. That's
Yeah.
They said, I wonder if 600 is on this list. No, they got
Oh,
they got the
he was
poster
in
put up,
front of the house during the raid,
filming it.
talking about, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, how did he know that was going to be happening in order to be? He doesn't live near Big U.
No, he won't go in a fucking 100-mile radius of Big U because he
No.
knows Big U. You know what I mean? Thank you, Mac 11. So the thing is, what we're saying is, what's your beef going on with boxers?
I don't even
what? I don't
focus
even
on that topic.
Yeah, that's crazy. The thing is, this guy happened to break the news. Oh, look, he just happened to be driving down Big U Street, you're saying, and the raiding? No, it doesn't work that way. He knew exactly what was going to happen, when it was going to happen, how it was going to happen, and happened to be right precisely in front of the door. The big story to this is, you know, what me and Dubs have been saying for a very long time. These guys that are going on social media talking about cases that are still going on, being investigated, putting cases on each other. Well, this is what happens. Now you got an indictment. They're calling it Operation Drawdown.
And that's because Big U is also known as Big Draws.
Yes.
So the drawdown is basically saying they're taking Big U down. It's over with.
Yes,
and
it's a play off his name.
I listened to some of the charges, man, and they had human trafficking in there. That's probably has to do with a prostitution ring, you know, that area.
Yeah.
It had some fraud. It had capital crime. So I saw somebody saying about statute of limitations. Listen, this is the feds.
The Fed case. RICO.
The feds don't pick up anything they're going to lose. That's why they have a 98% conviction rate. If they pick it up, they have the resources to prosecute you no matter how much money you have and who you are. They have the money. They have the means. And they don't pick up cases that are losers. So people are definitely going to do time. People are definitely going to be snitching.
On the day.
And listen, Holmes, people need to be very careful. Gunner and I have been talking about the curse of that platform. Whatever it is, Holmes, there's always
incarceration.
And we have to be careful with what we say because they would love to sue us. But we're just saying those guys go on that platform and claim to be the face of stuff, and they all wind up in jail.
Yes, and it's, you know, as far as and they're going to be all over this case. You know, hey, let me tell you this, Dubs, and I'll say this because I don't want to say too much about No Jumper because they like to sue. But I'll say this though, man, that guy Loose Cannon's having a bad week. He's having a bad week. Not only did he get into it at a gas station and get hands put on him, then he gets locked up the next day. It's a bad week, man. It's a bad week.
You know, so we've seen, and Gunner and I have stayed out of it because we know most people. You know, it's funny. Anybody can do content on anything, but if Gunner and I do anything on the blacks, it's stay out of black business and all that, right?
Yeah, it's racial.
But I do want to say this. So over the last few days, allegedly there was a fallout between Loose Cannon and 600 and Whack 100, right? And Loose Cannon started saying that they do cop stuff, and he's saying he has an issue with 600 putting a case on Big U. But Loose Cannon himself was on No Jumper putting the Nipsey Hussle death on Big U and said he called me right before and said Nipsey was dead, but Nipsey wasn't dead yet, and I got it on this and that, and I can show record. So he did the same thing that he's accusing 600 of, you know, and Loose Cannon is in the indictment. Brick Baby's in the indictment, you know, and then these guys like, you know, 600 constantly calling Big U a rat and putting a jacket on him. Well, he's the operation is named after him. The operation is named after him.
Here's another thing, Dubs. Why isn't he on the indictment with everything that he's been saying? Come on, guys. We should take a poll here, right? Who's going to tell first, right? Look, and just so you know, Big U is still, up to what we know before we started this live, still considered a fugitive. They raided his home, but he wasn't there. So wherever Big U is, he's where he's at. You know, he's a very, from what I hear, very intelligent individual. He's probably getting him a lawyer. You know, getting his thing, his shit in a line. You know what you got to do. But Brick Baby is locked up. They did snatch up Brick Baby. It says he's in custody. Loose Cannon is in custody, and a couple other individuals. But that, from what we've seen on that paper, man, with all their pictures, there's a lot of guys involved in this. So not only did whoever took these guys down and they told on a lot of people. It's a big case, and I think they're going to continue to lock more people up, Dubs, because that's just usually how that goes.
Yeah,
the feds came. They came to.
Well, I'm going to bring something up. I'm not making any accusations, insinuating anything, but Brick Baby's pad got raided, and they found an assault rifle, and he's never gone back to court
ever since then.
And now he's, look at guys. So the way the feds work, they will round up people that are cooperating with them in order to keep their cover. So who knows who's really cooperating, who's not? It'll come out in the wash. Now that there's an indictment, it's all going to come out, But hopefully other people are paying attention, because Gunner and I have been saying that we think this and that is going on with this social media thing. And you see it coming to fruition with this hood. Anybody who keeps getting on internet claiming to be active as fuck in their motherfucking 40s and 50s, and they can do this and they can do that, and flossing this and flossing that, the hoodas are watching, eh?
They're watching everything.
And remember that those of you that get on social media bragging about your barrio and your hood, and I'm just going to say this, bragging about your barrio, if your barrio gets snatched up, an indictment gets put on your barrio because of your internet activities, you can't explain that away.
You're gone.
You know that. As raza, the blacks move different. As raza, ain't no fucking explaining that away. So hopefully people will start dialing down the rhetoric, put out some fucking content. You know what I mean? And let's get back to making good content for our subscribers.
Thank you, Bang Mateo. Dubs is absolutely right. One thing that I know how prison and the streets work as far as the raza, just like in prison, if you're out there fucking up on the yard and you're bringing negative attention to your group, you're going to suffer some serious consequences because you brought that attention. Nobody wants that attention. Same thing on the streets in the barrios or in the hoods. If you're the one out there on the internet running your mouth, talking about we're this, we're hard, we're that, we're doing this, I'm catching bomb, doing all that. When the indictment comes in, it will come eventually. Believe me, they're just waiting for someone like you to open your mouth and give them that opportunity. You think your homies are going to fucking let that pass? No, they're not. They're going to feel some type of way. It was all because of you. When you got 600 Brick Baby, Loose Cannon, to me, and I again, I'm not putting jackets on anyone. It's like these three have been steady, like trying to put jackets on each other and place blame on each other because I think they all kind of knew something was going down, man. Or were a part of it. That's just me.
Well,
that's how I feel looking at it.
818 says, remember, 6ix9ine said they picked him up to cooperate months before they took down the rest. That's when he started to wear wires. And I guarantee you that one of these dudes has been cooperating. And it's going to all come out in the wash. My thing is, I hope people dial back the rhetoric. We've been saying that there's been law enforcement that got on social media and even in the comments and have bragged about they don't have, before they would have the specific gang units. And they said they don't even need that anymore. They just assign them to the internet.
Yeah, they have whole full task forces watching the internet because
every agency.
Because as soon as something happens, you got content creators that immediately are trying to outdo each other and put out the most information. And those of us that are trying to we'll give you the roundabout story. Hey, this guy died, man. This is what happened. We're not going to give you every fucking single detail. You're doing the law enforcement's job for them. They didn't even know that. Now they know who to go to, who to talk to, who to snatch up, who to harass, who to indict. Because these guys are like, oh man, I talked to this guy and they told me this and it's about that. And half the shit is made up. And the other half, man, is some real shit. that you should not be putting out there. You were raised a certain type of way, you should have been laced up a certain way, and now you got people getting snatched up, and it's even more so because now you got not only they've been talking about Big U this, Big U that, and then not only did they get Loose Cannon, Big U's on the run, but Loose Cannon and this other guy, but they also look at Brandon Gunner got it all wrong. Oh, I got it all wrong, Brandon. That's cool. Not only do they got all these guys, they snatched up a whole lot of other people from the 60s too, or associated. So no one knows these other guys that they snatched up, like how these guys, if these guys really play or they really don't. Like,
well, imagine if you were from, still, in the streets doing your thing, really out there representing whatever hood or barrio you're from, right? And then there's dudes that claim to be from your hood or your barrio, but all they do is hang out in front of a computer or in front of a fucking camera and talk about things. And you're really in the street. Now you're indicted because you really are a hitter. Yes. And these other dudes are just, they want nothing whatsoever to do with the streets, but they can't stop talking about it. It's crazy. I know one thing, Holmes, whatever detention center they're in, there's going to be some people that don't want to sell up with some people. And they're going to be some people that are going to be scared to go to the court tanks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, and from that picture I seen, Dubs, of the, you know how they are. And for those of you that don't know, you guys can go on channels like, hey, shout out Compton Rick Rock.
Yeah.
You know he's putting out some real good information out there. Shout out, who's that other guy, man? There's another guy, man. He just put out an interview this morning. I forget his name right off the top, but I know, shout out Compton Rick Rock. He's definitely, him and Nina Boy, they're putting out some good information right now as far as giving the breaking news on what's going on. There's already been a press conference. This is the real deal. This shit is really happening. The papers that they put out where they show, they do it on all the time. They showed all the different pictures of the people that are in custody or the people they're going after. There was some pretty big boys there, some big brothers right there that looked like they didn't fuck around. Dudes that I've never seen before on the internet. So they look dudes that look like heavy into the game, right? So these brick babies, these loose cannons, 600s, and of course 600, he was wearing a badge on the front porch. So I'll just say it straight up, man. I'm not putting a jack with that guy. Got police written all over him. Serious.
There's never been, like, every video he's ever done, he doesn't sound like he's from the streets.
Not at all.
It's weird, man. His whole vibe is weird. Every video 600 that's put out, if you look at his comment section, 90% are clowning him and are calling him a cop or both. He's supposedly from 60s. He's all over the media from 60s, and he hates rats. So he should be a high powered fucking target for the feds if he hates rats so much and he ain't a part of none of that fuckery. He's just a straight up G from that hood. His picture's not on there.
That doesn't go to their hood days, doesn't participate in any of their functions, funerals, hood days, birthdays, holidays, none of that, right? But he's on the internet, steady trying
to carrying with a license to carry a concealed weapon
as an ex-convict. Wow.
No, he's never been in prison.
Never been to prison. Came out of nowhere. Look, I've been doing time with the 60s for almost 30 years now. Okay.
Me too.
From the youth authority to prison. They are nothing to fool with. They're the guys that are really dedicated are dedicated, just like any other street gang, any other hood. They're really about what they're about. That guy didn't have 60s written on him like that. He's not any 60 I ever seen carried himself like that. Now I understand people got different mentalities, carry themselves different ways. He might be college educated, but we've seen people very educated, like Boxer Enriquez. I'll say his name. He's very he educated himself, but you can see the street in him still. You can see both elements. With that dude, 600, he didn't have that. He had police. something.
Well, it's a trip. You have somebody like Big U, right? I believe his crew that before he went to prison, I believe his crew, they had a nickname for him, like the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
And I'll say I've been in prison with a lot of blacks that their thing was even dudes from their own hood. If you were a baller, they'll take you hostage. Give me the money, give me the dope. You know what I mean? Like I've seen that happen, Holmes. And for Big U to be known as one of those guys, you flash in front of him, he's snatching you up, he's taking everything before he went to prison. Yes. He gets out and he gets into legal ventures, right? And for him to, I mean, I think one of his sons or both of his sons are now in the NFL.
Two of his sons just got drafted to then,
right. And so
drafted, the other one getting drafted.
This dude has like, there's no reason for him to be involved in any criminal activities. And look at the fucking it's Operation. What is it?
Operation Drawdown.
Drawdown. That operation was specifically for him.
Targeting him. They say news is saying Big U is on the run. Yeah, that's what we said in their title. Big U is a fugitive on the run at this point. Here,
let's say this. Mm-hmm. We don't know at this time if he was already on a trip or something.
Yeah, could have been something
the fact that they hit his house and he wasn't there, they're gonna say he's a fugitive. But he may have already been on something. Now he knows, just like we know, and he's gonna be contacting the highest power attorney possible.
100%.
The problem is these internet dudes have painted such a picture of him that's going to be used against him. And there definitely is minimum of one person that's cooperating.
Well, and here's this too, Dubs. And let me say this. Here's a crazy fact. Since we're speaking facts, here's a crazy one. 600 has been on No Jumper. Brick Baby has been on No Jumper. Loose Cannon has been on No Jumper. We're not going to mention Whack 100 because his name has not been brought up into this indictment or anything like that. So I don't know what he's doing. A lot of people like to bring his name up. But all these guys have been on No Jumper. If we see Loose Cannon or Brick Baby, 600, he's running around with the badge and a security hat on. If we see those two guys back on No Jumper within a week or two, you already know what happened. That's all I got to say.
Well, I mean, I think they're gonna hold him, even which if one of them or both, whoever's cooperating, they're gonna hold on to with everyone else because they're gonna want to hear what's the plan in the. I mean, they're a-holes. The feds are no fucking joke. Eh?
Oh yeah,
and it's just crazy because you don't hear too much of the feds going after a street gang. It's unorganized. They usually go after organized crime. So they're actually they're gonna hit them with that kingpin shit, Big U. And I mean, it's fucked up because when the feds come, Big U's gonna do some time. There's no way around it. And people are joking around because of the thing that he supposedly knocked out 30 Southsiders in a riot. He never said that. He said I knocked out a lot of them. Back 100 is the one that said the number. And Big U actually has been very, very respectful in his comments about Southsiders. He said when he was in the oil that Southerners fed him, and where there's not going to be any repercussions. That's all internet bullshit. But it's very unfortunate, man, because you didn't see Big U all over the internet. No, he was cut from a different cloth. And you got these guys that are just, it's weird, eh?
This guy says right here, man, you guys are just focusing on the 60s. I mean, 3 individuals that are on that indictment are from the 60s, the 3 that we know about. The other guys, we don't know where they're from or where they're about.
Wow. Wait a minute. What 3 are you talking about?
Well, allegedly. Well, Big U.
Yes. 60s. Well, Big U, yes. But who else are you talking about? 600? 600, there's no 600, there's no verification he's really from there. Brick Baby, I mean, that's their neighborhood business, but there's a lot of people that have said he's not really, never got put on. Cannon is not, there's actually, I saw a shout out to Alex Alonso. Check out Street TV.
Yep.
He just did a story on the real Loose Cannon. This dude running around that we know of as Loose Cannon is not the real Loose Cannon.
He stole that dude's persona. Well, what I'm saying, Dubs, I mean, and I understand exactly where you come from. If we get real technical, these guys may or may not, they may be false claiming, right? A gang. But when you think of them, this is what they say they're from, So when you have 3 guys that say they're from 60s, one really being from there verified and the other 2 saying they're from there, it kind of makes it a 60 top heavy thing, If there's other guys, I'm sure there's going to be other associated affiliates. When they raided my neighborhood and they got a Operation Red Right Hand in Merced, right? There was maybe 10 people from my neighborhood. The rest were from different neighborhoods or associates. So there's always going to be associates. They even had dudes on the last one in Merced when they got GB, the rapper. There was Northern Riders on there. Dudes that were non-active got caught up.
Well, they do that. The reason why the feds do that, they cast a very wide net because they want to see how many people they can get to flip and cooperate. That's all it is. Exactly. They throw a very wide net.
Other guys. There's going to be other guys that, of course, from different affiliations, maybe even Bloods, maybe even Southerners, maybe even North. You just never know. They could all be on the same indictment, but at the end of the day, they're folk. The name of the look at one thing about the feds, I'll tell you guys this. If you look at every operation that they do, they like to make the name of it. It has something to do with the operation and sometimes clowning. When they did Operation Red Right Hand, there was a reason for that. I'm not going to put it out there, but there was a reason for that name that only people in my neighborhood would know. There was a reason for Operation Scrapbook in Atwater. They did that to disrespect Southerners. There was a reason for Operation Drawdown. It's because Big U's also known as Big Draws. They do that. You know, Operation Quiet Storm. You know, they stormed them quietly. Like there's different things. The Black Widow, the Valley Star. It was an operation focused on the Valley and the Northerners, so it was Operation Valley Star. These different names that they utilize and they use, it's, believe me, it tells you all in the description exactly what it is. You just got to be able to read between the lines. And this Operation Drawdown is they're taking big draws down.
Yeah, and it's just take that thing down. That way, when you put up the thing, because when we do just so you guys know, this will stay up. So if you guys got hit with some commercials, because I see somebody said they missed something because of commercials, these will stay up. Whenever we don't play music, they stay up. Whenever we play music, those have to come down. Do we think it's a RICO? It is a RICO. It was stated as a RICO.
That is it's a joint
there was already a press conference. The charges were read out loud, everything.
Yeah, it's a joint operation. Los Angeles Police Department. There's a couple other police departments involved, and of course, federal agencies, which is the FBI and maybe ATF. It just depends. There's a lot of different charges. Trafficking. There's a murder charge. They're looking into a murder investigation.
I'm sure there's probably a few of those, but
yeah. So I mean, it's a big deal. This is not a slap on the wrist type thing. This is the real deal right here, and it's unfortunate that it happens like this. But we say it all the time in our videos, constantly. We did it just in the. I know I did it in the video, the Sucker Free 104, where I was saying, man, people need to stop speaking on his neighborhood business, because what's going to happen is you're going to get the cops' attention focused on that neighborhood. And you know, when people are saying, oh, they're doing drug running and this and that and this and that, like fuck, then you're going to open their eyes to maybe something they didn't know about and put them up on game. So,
well, you know, it's also the shotgun effect, where they're gonna hit them with every single crime they can come up with. They're not all gonna stick, but I'll give you an example. In my case, my murder case, they caught 4 dudes from my neighborhood fleeing the scene, right? And some of them stayed solid because initially, the fire department was able to get to the victim immediately. They got him to the hospital within a couple minutes, and they put him on life support. But he was unfortunately, he was brain dead already, right? Yeah. So when they originally fingerprinted these guys, these 4 dudes from my neighborhood, they fingerprinted them for attempted murder, right? And then when the family finally, you know, few hours later decided, okay, there's nothing we can do, and they pulled the plug, they re-fingerprinted them. And from my understanding, my crimies were like, what are you doing? You guys already fingerprinted us. And the Huda said, oh, no. We fingerprinted you for attempted murder. He died. Now it's for murder. Then they started cooperating. Right then, they told the detectives they wanted to talk. Yeah. So what I bring that up to say, when these dudes get picked up and you know, they get hit with 30 different charges that every one of them carries a whole lot of time, it's a different thing than getting hit with one charge that you might be able to beat, you know? So it scares some of these guys, especially these dudes that are not really street dudes. They created a persona for the internet. Maybe they were dope dealers at one point or something, you know what I mean? But it's gonna hit those type of dudes a lot different than some real street dudes who made up their mind a long time ago. They're gonna do whatever they do, and whatever comes with it, they'll accept it.
You look at it like this, man. You look at it like this, and this is Hugo. Maybe he might have all the details, but look, here's the thing. You got to ask yourself honestly, guys, after for a few years sitting down watching this guy Brick Baby perform on No Jumper, do you honestly believe that dude will sit down forever or try to get his way up out of it? We're talking about a guy that just got caught with an AK. That's the case is missing in action now.
Yeah.
You know, let's just be real. And I'm not putting no hatred or no jacket on someone, because anyone, I mean, most of the time, the people that you expect to are the ones that don't, right? And the ones you expect not to are the ones that do. So it's just the way the world works. But there ain't no way in hell that I could sit here, watch Big Baby on the dead homies and sitting there facing with life. He's going to be sweating like a motherfucking a sweat hog. That fool's going to be nervous as fuck. I mean, I'd be sitting in that position. Like, fuck.
I'm going to say this. I watched, because of this whole fight between Cowboy and Loose Cannon, I've been watching, you know, knowing I'm not going to do any content on it. It serves no purpose. But I watched the Loose Cannon one, right? Oh no, it was a Loose Cannon, and they called Whack 100 on the phone. It was Loose Cannon, Brick Baby, Lush, and the Weirdo 16, right?
Yeah.
And I want to say something like these are just perceptions that I make when I'm watching, right? And I don't talk about it on here, but I'm gonna do it here. Things are so different. I'm watching these dudes, and they sit there and they break down herb, like smoke. They're rolling joints while they're talking. They're popping pills. And look, Holmes, like in my era, my generation, Avato's gonna slide off into the bathroom to go do some certain drugs and then come back out because they want to look presentable. They want to protect their image. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at these dudes, and I'm like, these are a bunch of weird ass drug addicts on here that like, what the fuck am I watching? You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's so hard to watch that platform. It's just a bunch of fucking, you know, and my heart goes out to everybody that struggles with addiction, but at least you're doing it in private, Holmes. You know, you're not making a fool out of yourself. That's the same reason why I've had a problem with Fools Gone Wild, as far as when and they show Vatos all fucking strung out on the street. It's like, hey, Holmes, that guy might have a son or a daughter that hasn't seen him in years, and you're fucking showing that son and or daughter their father in the worst condition. Like, maybe that guy could clean up in a year or two and show back up in their kid's life and not be what they just fucking saw on the internet. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I don't know. That was something random.
I get it. You know,
on there, I'm just like,
to me, it just serves no purpose to be sitting around a group of men getting high together, talking about, you know, Transformers and shit. I just don't get it. To me, it just doesn't make no sense. Hey, that's Rise Ups. Thank you. It just doesn't make no sense. But this is a real situation here. And for the guy that said, oh, they're going after Brick Baby too, he's already locked up. He's already in custody.
He's in custody.
They got Brick Baby. They got Loose Cannon. Those two definitely are in custody with two others. And it says that they're looking for Big U right now. So, and Henry D says, gossiping. That's what you're doing? Cool.
I don't think he's talking about us. I think he's talking about what I was talking about. With Brick Baby. I think, I don't know. He can clarify that.
Yeah.
And
you're right, gossiping. That's what they do.
And look, it goes back to what Gunner and I have been saying. And look, I'm going to tell you guys, I have a friend that's an attorney. You guys see him on here, Timepiece.
Yeah.
He's a very high-powered attorney in LA. And he's told me himself that he believes No Jumper may be part of something bigger. And, you know, when you look at it like this, No Jumper, what used to be a hip-hop platform.
Used to be, yeah.
Now they are a platform that brings on a bunch of gang members, gets them intoxicated, and gets them to talk about things. You have No Jumper. You have the 16 now walking through the 40s. He went to Chicago recently.
He says he's a warlord.
He has no pass. Who gave him the pass to get into these criminal fucking environments? And whoever did, look at what's happening.
Yeah.
Indictments. This isn't the first time that he's talked to people and they went to jail or they wound up missing, wind up dead. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's a perfect platform. The way they disguise this platform because I honestly, I am in 100% agreement with Dubs. We've talked about it on and off camera. This is what we truly believe, man. Can't no one tell me different, right? The situation is like this. When they started bringing on guys from Northern California, guys from Southern California, and I'm talking about raza, not just blacks, but I'm talking about Mexicans, like Lefty Gunplay went on there. Several others, Big Tone, all these guys went on there. I was really concerned for these guys, saying, you know, do they understand? I understand that they went on there because they figure it's a platform to further their career in the rap scene, right? But it's no longer that. Now he doesn't really ask about the rap scene and the rap careers. It's all about when you get into your neighborhood. What's about your neighborhood? Who killed this person on this day? Like he does his homework on their neighborhood. When is it going to be about, hey, when's your next album coming out? What fucking single are you dropping next? It's never about that. It's about, hey, how did you get in your neighborhood? Was it, what time did you start banging Norte or Sur or whatever? So when I seen those type of questions, it now no longer became an interview. It became an inquisition. It became fucking something where, or that's the wrong word for it, but it became where he was trying to interrogate him. That's what I meant to say, interrogation. That's what it became. They've been saying it for years on Vlad TV. I think No Jumper took the #1 spot on that. He seems to do it a little bit. And then he always has these guys around him, Adam does, that he says are from the streets, hood certified.
There's a difference between Vlad and Adam as far as this. Vlad got jumped by Rick Ross's people.
Yeah.
They put hands on him, hands and feet.
Mm-hmm.
What a lot of people don't know is if you do a Vlad TV interview, you're not in the room with Vlad. He's on a TV monitor.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth.
No Jumper is in LA County.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And there are so many motherfuckers that want to be superstars, movie stars, whatever the fuck they want to be. And for some reason, they think being on No Jumper is a means to get there. It's not.
No.
Again, you had Crip Mac was supposedly the face of the Crips. He's doing Fed time. 4 Extras became the face of the Crips. He's incarcerated right now.
Yes.
Rick Baby, the face of the Crips. He's in now in a fucking RICO indictment. So anybody that wants to be the face of something, just go on No Jumper and you will be the face of whatever jail you're in. That's
but
what.
Remember the consequences that come with it, though. Remember the consequences that come with it. If you notice, there have been people that have been on there that realized, wow, that was a mistake, and they backed up off that. And anytime someone gets on there that Adam cannot control or doesn't want to conform to the questions he's asking, look at his look on his face. He's very disappointed and knows, hey, I got a real one. When he had Big Tone on there and Big Tone wasn't falling for his shenanigans or his questioning, he looked very disappointed and uninterested in that interview. And that was because he wasn't getting out of it what he wanted. When he brought on the Bulldogs and all they wanted to talk about was their music, you know, I know Faith 300's dad. I did time with them personally, Shorty, the one that was in the wheelchair there. I know him. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he laced his son up enough to say, hey, this is what you say and this is what you don't say. Yeah, he did say a little too much concerning his neighborhood, and they did get at him for that. That's a fact, right? That I know about. But what I'm saying is when Adam was trying to get him to get into some real details, he wanted to talk about music. Adam was trying to steer it a whole different way. That channel right there is the YouTube devil. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Anyone who I've seen affiliate with that channel, pretty much, G-Face, he's locked up too, right? Everyone that affiliates with that channel to some degree, man, they better watch out, because I'm telling you right now, today is a perfect reality wake up for a lot of them guys. There's no coming back from this. There's going to be some guys that tell, and they might get some get backs. But even with the telling, they might still get time, depending upon to what degree or level they were telling, they were involved. You know, yeah, because you can't just get out free. You know. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Doug.
No. I mean, I don't want to keep. You know, I think pretty much everybody that watches our channels feel the same way about that platform. You know, and I don't want to make it about that platform because
it is
everybody. No. The reason why is because everybody chooses to be there. And so they pick their poison and they got to live with it.
Yeah, it's not like Adam dragging him in there. Yeah.
This dude, well, he's enticing them. And then when he gets them there, they hey, you want some liquor? Cool. You want to get high? Cool. And they let their guard down.
Like you said, provide them with all the poison.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, just like the devil did. He provided the apple. He didn't make
Henry.
You know?
Yeah. Thank you, Henry. these I think it's more important to keep focusing on this dude 600.
Yes, he's the catalyst to all this, I believe.
The fact that he's not involved in the RICO, like loose cannon. Why is loose cannon in that?
Exactly. Perfect example.
He's never around fucking he's been beefing with Brick Baby and Big U. So
yes.
so and 600 is beefing with 600 and Big U. But instead of being snatched up and named in the RICO, he was there at Big U's house during a search with his hat on, a beanie on that said security. I mean, come on.
And a badge. He was wearing a badge on his neck.
What street dude does that?
Not very many. Right? But what even got me more, and look, the proof is in the pudding. That's what they say, right? Well, the proof was in the pudding when at the exact moment the feds are knocking. See this picture in our background? We wanted to put these pictures up specifically. Again, man, shout out to Compton Rick Rock. That's his thumbnail. Shout out to him. But I wanted to utilize this, and Dubs utilized it for a reason. That's the exact moment they're going in the doors, right? Now, who do you think was there filming the exact moment they were going in the doors? You said it. The guy that didn't want no part of 600, Big U, 600. He just happened to be pulling up while they're doing a Fed RICO raid on Big U's house, asking about what's going on here. Motherfucker, you're a gang member. You know what's going on here. Everybody knows what's going on. Look at, they used to do what they called Task Force Tuesdays in the city of Merced. Man, I don't know if they did it out there in Santa Barbara. Does where they had certain days that the parole agents hit, or the probation, or the feds.
Oh, they have certain days. Yeah.
Okay, well, we used to call them, even though they'd hit them on Thursdays or Friday, we always called it Task Force Tuesday, right? And they'd go do gang sweeps and shit. And we knew our houses were going to get hit. We already knew. Shit, people would say, hey, they're fucking hitting houses today. All right, shit, they're going to be coming. Get you to clean everything up. But just as gang members and living that criminal street life, even not gang members, people that just live that life, no matter if you're a burglar or drug addict, whatever, you know when you see a raid, what's going on. We all seen the movie Straight Outta Compton in the beginning when they raided. Even that kid, feds are coming, right? Everyone knows. So what the fuck is 600? What's going on here? What are you doing? Motherfucker, you know what's going on here, bro. You the one that called them. Stop.
I won't be surprised if 600 finally goes and gets some more chili fries. And the 60 good. Right now, everybody's going to be out the way, and he's going to be over there talking about, for those of you that say I can't come to my hood, everybody's ducking the cops right now. Yeah, you probably.
Yeah, of course. No one's going to be in the hood. Everyone's fucking shit. Everyone's in Vegas. Like, fuck that. Everyone got the fuck up out of there. Believe me, when the spot's hot, you already know in the game, vacate the spot, right? Get out the way for a little while. Go take a little vacation.
Hey, 7 the Don Boss. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. That, you know, I just mentioned it briefly, how he said he didn't like 600 putting this new body on Big U, but yet he was trying to put Nipsey Hussle's body on Big U. You know,
are you talking about Whack 100 or Loose Cannon?
Loose Cannon.
Okay.
I was reading the comment. Somebody mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, I just said I mentioned it before because it is very strange how he doesn't like 600 doing what he did.
Yeah, it's like, you know, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Here's my thing, Dubs. It's going to be very, very interesting and explosive to see what Whack 100 has to say about all this. I'm sure they're mounting the troops right now on No Jumper, and he's going to have a lot to say, and Adam's going to be instigating the shit out of that. I want to see what Whack has to say, because a lot of these things that he said a lot about this about Big U himself, you know, to see it all happening, it's like, you know, this is a thing of people speaking bullshit into existence. People speaking into existence.
I don't know, Holmes. I have a feeling Whack's not going to say much.
If he's dirty in the game, he won't.
I don't think I mean, what do you think Whack is going to say?
Well, I mean, it's the hottest topic right now. He's definitely going to have something to say about that. Motherfucker don't miss nothing, right?
Two of his co-hosts are involved. One looks bad, and one looks like, okay, maybe he's not too bad.
You know, you're whacking that. You know, Adam's definitely going to ask the question. He's going to say, oh, did you see that raid? They got Britt. Right? He's going to be all weirded out. Oh, Pablo, they arrested Britt.
Yeah.
Pablo. He's going to be going crazy, right? But the thing is, he's going to try to play the legal analyst. That's what Whack does. He'll try to play the legal analyst, and They play good cop, bad cop, stupid cops, right?
Mhm.
You'll have Adam playing dumb, and you'll have Whack playing legal analyst. At the same time, both these guys, I have a feeling, know exactly what went down. But I believe I think this is all 600, really, to be honest with you. I think this is more him than anyone. I think, honestly, Dubs, either 600 is an undercover or 600 is, like you said, is going to be happy a lot of people are out the way, so you won't get him some chili cheese fries.
And that's terrible. And that's terrible.
Very unfortunate.
I don't know, man. You know, things are so different now. If this was the 90s, 600 wouldn't even have had an opportunity to pretend he was from 60s.
Never.
None of these dudes that are pretending to be from anywhere would be able to do that. Back then, it would have been rectified like in a day or two. And I'm talking about with murder. You know, nowadays people go on the internet and I don't know, man. It's such a crazy thing. I got to take this phone call real quick.
Okay. Hold it down.
It's probably about this, seeing who's calling. So let me take this call.
Okay. We might get some more breaking news. Yeah, hey, I seen that run block, and I was saying I was going to talk about that this morning, but man, that's a very delicate situation because I seem to get a lot of hate because I actually pulled up to a fucking food review one time and he was there and everybody went crazy about that. But I'll say this, yeah, that dude Loose Cannon is definitely having a bad week. He gets beat up at a gas station by Cowboy from 60s 2 days ago, and then the feds come knocking at his door today. That's definitely you know, shit. He hasn't even had a chance to put his do-rag on right. And he's already getting locked back up. Pow! He's in trouble. You know, again, it's not about putting jackets on people because that's definitely not a position anybody wants to be in without paperwork. But this is a situation that anyone who's ever thought anything about someone is definitely going to be revealed. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't sit here and say that Brick Baby, if he's faced with, and again, when they get you on a RICO, you're not faced with every charge that everyone got. So it's not like they all get the same charges. It's not the way it works. Some people can be charged with this. Some people can be charged with that. When they did the RICO in Merced a couple months ago, GB just got charged with a probation violation and hanging around with known gang members. Slap on the wrist, he's out, right? Other people, it was targeting one certain individual from GB's neighborhood, right? That's who they were after. But like Dub said, they spread a wide web so that they can get people more. The more people you lock up, the more people are going to bust. You know what I mean? And it's going to help the feds. But again, one thing we know about the feds, and we've said it forever, when they come knocking, they got a very, very high conviction rate. And even though I think the center of the attention is focused on Big U in this situation, there's been a lot of these guys with Big U's name in their mouth constantly. I did a video once upon a time about Big U. I think it was a year ago, concerning when WAC 100 said that Big U was claiming to have knocked out 30 Southsiders on the Pelican Bay Yard. We debunked that myth because we all know that nobody's Superman. Also, secondly, he was never in Pelican Bay at that time that WAC 100 supposedly put out this story, right? And that was about it, man. I see all this shit going on with Big U and I stay away from it because when you see someone who's trying to change himself, and whether regardless, you know Big U more than I do, if he's in the game like that, and I know he's a very well-known figure out there in the LA community, right? There was just no reason to be running this guy's name around when you had all his own homies from his hood trying to put a murder case on him. Now, guess what? He's a fugitive on the run for, you know, a murder. It's crazy, you know, and the main guy that constantly has Big U's name in his mouth, that constantly is trying to put a jacket on him, even going as far as saying that there was Big U's DNA under somebody's nails, just happened to be the one and only content creator on YouTube right in front of his house while they're raiding, filming it. Well, God, yeah, that right there, that to me, that takes the cake.
Takes the cake. Yeah, that you know, but that same dude that you're, I know Eastside player. So I was given something, given two names that somebody's saying that they know a little bit about something, and that two names I was given as they are from 60s that are working with the feds on this. I'm not going to put those names out. That's their business. And if this person was able to get it to me, then I'm sure some other people will be putting it out soon, and I'd be more comfortable if they do it. But as far as getting back to 600, the fact that he's been saying what he's been saying about the 60s is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Being from the 60s, Dubs.
He's not.
No, that's what I'm saying. But claiming.
Yeah.
Let's just say that word, claiming.
Yeah.
When you claim your neighborhood, okay, one thing I learned when I was a youngster, this I got raised, it's the neighborhood before anything. It used to be. And then once you get into prison, you understand that there's a lot more bigger things than the neighborhood. Neighborhood doesn't count anymore, right?
That's facts.
But it's neighborhood before anything. So I don't give a fuck. There's the biggest rat, biggest chiruhu, biggest for my neighborhood. I mean, if they're all bad, then I don't want nothing to do with them. I'm just not going to speak on them. But the last thing you're going to do is want to shed bad light on your neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you want to do. He did it every day. You know what I mean? Something ain't right.
Hey, I mean, that's just like me. Like, so my neighborhood is the West Side. Within the West Side, we had a bunch of different cliques. But I was always a firm believer in what's West Side business is West Side business, Holmes. You don't take West Side business nowhere else, Holmes.
Yes.
That's our fucking business. And so for me, with my belief in that my whole life, to hear somebody say that his hood is a bunch of rats and sex offenders, I'm like, fool, you are not from that hood.
Never. Hell no.
And he's always talking about nobody's busting a grape. Fool, you bust a grape.
You represent that neighborhood, right?
What's wrong with your buster? You know what I mean?
Yeah, where's your buster?
Rich said, wait, not Rich. Where's the this guy? Don't know why y'all talking about whack when you knowing he gonna come back at y'all. Who's talking about whack first of all, and who sent you with them pom-poms? You go to somewhere else. You go somewhere else.
He's gonna get y'all cholos. Come on, big. Hey, what's your name? Big Akimusa? Get up out of here, man. Stop it, man. I just got hit with a dart.
He's not a oos. Here's my thing. If he is a oos, macafefe.
He's not a uso. He's that right there is he's an aborigine. Look, I'm gonna be real with you, and this is some real life shit. First of all, Whack 100 knows what's real and what's not real. If you were to go back to No Jumper, which I'm sure you religiously watch, right? You're one of them guys. If you go back to that channel, you'll distinctly watch the episode where he says, "Well, I done tapped in with Gun and Dubs on Power Rule." And one thing I learned is they know how to play the real shit and they know how to play the bullshit. So go tap in with that, bro. Because you got to understand everything Whack does and says is for attention, for clout, and he's a diabolical and he's a genius in disguise. That guy knows how to wiggle on these YouTube streets, right? So he don't really mean what he says, but he tries to say what he means. I'm saying what I mean right here. That dude ain't gonna come back at us. We're just speaking some real shit. What you need to be worried about is all those motherfuckers that are putting murder cases on each other because they're all getting locked up. Stupid asses, just like Keith D. Facts. You talk too much, you get locked up. You talk too much, you get locked up. Keith D's over there talking about, I didn't do that to Tupac. Well, motherfucker, you said it on Black TV, you dumb motherfucker.
Well, now he's saying that he did it just for to make money. That's not that is not a defense. That's not a criminal defense.
Big Mike said, Gunner, you ain't slick with that racist shit. Man, Big Mike, if you don't stop it, you know I'm the most unracist motherfucker in the world, bro. You know, he can call me a cholo though, huh? He wasn't slick with his racist shit either. Come on now. And what are you going to say next? Well, y'all call yourself cholos. Well, you call yourself the N-word. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Let's be real. Let's keep it 100 right here, man. We're talking about people of the same ethnicity telling on each other, getting people locked up. That ain't cool, man.
Where's Big U? Big U's probably at an attorney's office right now or somewhere waiting on an attorney. The dude's not dumb. What you do in cases like this, you show up at a police station or a county jail with an attorney and say, I'm here to turn myself in. You can't be questioned that way. They're not going to question you. They got to book you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Look at what Happy says. I'm black.
Hey,
I love my people, bro. And I got nothing but respect and love for the black culture, man, and black people, man. You don't understand. I got black friends all day, every day. Not a racial bone in my body, but there's a lot of real ones, a lot of real bones in my body. So some people can't, they don't understand the truth. The truth is there was a whole bunch of brothers running around telling on each other. And it's fucked up because they're putting innocent guys or even guys that maybe were in the game that had nothing to do with any of them dudes on the internet getting locked up. Exactly, Jug Gang. He is saying SA racist. Yeah, that's what he says. That SA is racist. You know, it's all good. It always
asking is saying SA racist. No, it's not necessarily racist.
No, it's not saying it. No, but he said you cholos, right? And that right there is you know, being a little I won't say racist, I'll say being a little, what's the other word for it, Dubs? Not racist. What is that the other one they call? A little I forget. See, I'm so unracist, I don't even know the words for it. There it goes, that proves it. Anyways, what's cracking?
Hold on. Let's do this. Since people are asking, I'm not gonna show it. I'm gonna just play this part right here. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Hold on.
Good morning. I'm Joe McNally, the acting United States Attorney here in Los Angeles. Today, we're here to announce federal criminal charges against Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, and a youth charity to further his own criminal enterprise, an enterprise that engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, human trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies. Mr. Henley and several other individuals linked to him and his criminal enterprise were charged in a criminal complaint with federal racketeering conspiracy. Mr. Henley is a fugitive, and he is currently wanted by federal law enforcement. Other individuals linked to his criminal enterprise were arrested today, approximately 10 defendants who are charged in various indictments. Again, Mr. Henley is a fugitive. 4 defendants are in state custody and will be transferred into federal custody, and we are still seeking Mr. Henley and another fugitive. The Department of Justice's top priority is eliminating.
I'm not gonna show the whole thing, but just that, because people are asking what is he being charged with? There, you heard it. It's a lot of different charges, man, and it does involve murder, and there's no coming back from that. If you get a conviction of that in the feds, you're done. So, you know, all these dudes that, you know, been on social media preying on the downfall of that man. Hopefully you can look yourself in the mirror, because you didn't have the balls to see that man in person, and instead you use social media and the authorities to handle your business because you're a pussy. That's basically what I heard.
Okay, and I want to answer this question. It's a statement, but I'm going to answer with an answer. Damn, Big U, this should be a lesson. Get off the internet with this gang talk. He wasn't on the internet with the gang talk. Everybody else was talking about him, especially this guy 600. Hey, they spoke it into existence, and it is what it is. I mean, if the feds are watching them for whatever reason, they're watching them, and we're totally off base, and 600 is innocent, and Brick Baby and all these guys are innocent and didn't say anything. It just boggles my mind that 600, knowing all this information he puts out on the internet, hasn't been picked up for questioning yet. You would think the feds, with all this information he says he has, they would at least want to talk to him, right, Dubs? Like, he's saying he knows all this stuff about Big U. They would at least say, hey, we'll come in and talk to us real quick. Now, he could refuse, but that would be on paper, you know? He refused to make a statement. And then he could show that and show everyone, see, I refuse to make a statement. I'm cool. We're not going to see that, though.
Who are 600?
600, yeah. I'm saying 600. You don't think the feds, like, with all this information he puts out there about Big U, he knows all about Big U, they wouldn't at least get at him and be like, hey, can we talk to you? You know what I mean? And it's easy. And then, you know, everything's written down. There's always the statement, man. I can show you right now a statement that a homeboy just sent me the other day. And right at the top, it says he declined to make a statement, you know? Boom, that's it. Then it's signed that day, that time, whatever. So then he can come to the internet and show, look, they asked me about this shit. No statement. I'm real, you know? There ain't gonna be none, unless it's AI. There ain't gonna be none of that, because I truly honestly believe he knew what was gonna happen before it happened. They said the feds don't have to talk to him. They don't, Florida native. But when they're building a case, just like with the P. Diddy case, they're gonna get every piece of information they can. The feds want.
And it's not only that, it's what Gunner is saying is they have a dude who's self-identifying as a member of the same neighborhood and who is doing videos putting bodies on somebody that they're interested in. You would think that they would talk to somebody who has the same mission as them. Doesn't mean they haven't. And look, everything is going to come out in the wash. Like I said, I just got a phone call and two names were put in my ear. I'm not going to put those names out there. I'll talk to Gunner about it after, and that'll just be for he and I to bullshit about. We're not affected by this directly, but we're all affected by it indirectly, because this is what happens when people get frivolous and forget what the fuck who's watching on the internet. It's just like when people threaten me. Like there's a rapper with a mustache like this who has threatened to do, like, come on, Holmes. Like when people call me out in the comments, hey, I'm gonna catch you this, and I tell them sometimes, like, fool, the fucking cops are watching, they're reading every comment, they're watching every video. Like when they say killers move in silence, that's a fucking fact, Holmes. Anybody who does all that threatening shit online, I'm like, that's the last vato that's gonna do anything. It's the ones that don't say anything. But yeah, because we don't want to. We've already been on an hour. We're not gonna go all day. But it's important for people to hopefully take a step back and realize what you're putting out as content. It's not just for your subscribers. The feds,
everybody's watching.
All law enforcement are paying attention, especially if you have a criminal past. You've been to prison. You're talking street shit. They're watching and they're listening.
And this is why me and Dubs constantly, in most videos that we do, reiterate to you over and over again that this is an ongoing investigation. And even though we may, as content creators, be privy to some information behind the scenes, secondhand information most of the time, right? Because we're not in direct contact with any law enforcement whatsoever, right? But we hear, our ears are to the streets just like anyone else. And when you're a content creator, people feed you some shit and some bullshit, right? We still don't put it out there because it's not our place. We don't benefit from it. And at the end of the day, it's not right. And that's just a fact, So for those that do, and you listen to what they have to say, believe half the bullshit, because most of it is that. With that being said, we're going to get up out of here. I'm sure. You got anything else to say on this?
No, that's it. Gracias.
We're going to get out of here. We hit 1,000 people in here, man. We appreciate all you guys that joined. Thank you guys so much, man. I'm going to watch and keep up to date on this case. If there's anything breaking that we can speak on, I'm sure we will. We're out, man. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.